What's up, YouTube? This is Redzone101 coming at you with another video. This is a little different from my Super 73 videos. I wanted to do something a little different today. I know we've talked about protecting your bike and what have you, but I want to talk about protecting yourself. This is an option for people that don't carry firearms and maybe not feel comfortable with them. Myself, I do carry. I've got a CPL. I've been carrying for a long time. My gun's on safety. It is loaded. Normally, when I'm out, I am carrying. So I'm gonna put that back in my holster. And actually, I also carry a backup. Safety's on. These are very, very nice pistols, but that's just me. I've been doing this for over 30 years and what have you. But with that said, you do have people that aren't maybe comfortable with carrying a firearm. I get that. Maybe you're actually working at a job or someplace or going someplace where you can't carry a firearm. I get that also. So this is something you might want to consider. This is something I bought for me and also bought for my wife. It's called the Byrna HD. And this is actually not a firearm, but it's actually a CO2 launcher. Now, basically, you might as well say it's a glorified pepper sprayer, but it doesn't spray pepper. It actually shoots these little, once I get it, these little round balls here. Now, it shoots, now these here, the ones that are gray are straight up plastic, but they're hard plastic. And getting hit with these, it's like getting punched in the chest real hard. I mean, they will leave a mark. Think about a paintball gun that shoots a paintball, but instead of a paintball that has liquid in it, think of it shooting a solid projectile, and that's what this is here. Now these right here, the green and red ones, these are actually pepper spray in them. So when this hits upon impact, it actually explodes. Well, not explodes, but, well, you know, it basically, it hits the target and the pepper comes out of it. A little bit of an explosion. I mean, without fire and all like that or what have you. It just bursts. A better way of saying it, it burst upon impact. There's no explosives in here, so I don't want anyone to think, oh God, he's got explosives. No, it just burst upon impact. It comes apart, and the pepper comes out, and like whoever you hit is getting engulfed in a cloud of pepper spray. So anyway, this is something that I bought, something a little less lethal. I think it's good to have something for self-defense. Unfortunately, the world we live in, especially right now, can be a little rough. So I wanted to do a demonstration. Now, I've got 3 of these mags loaded up, and they're loaded up with the hard balls. These hard balls, you can buy a container of 25 of them from Byrna, and they're about 25 bucks each. Now, the pepper spray. Now, also, they also have one that has a pepper spray / tear gas combo in them. Now, those are not legal in Michigan. Only the police can have those. So those are really, talk about getting like getting incapacitated. I can't say the word. Man, those really will mess you up. These here, imagine getting sprayed like in the face with pepper spray, and like that's what those are like. But these right here are like $30 for 5 of them. They are not cheap. And for 95 of them, a carton of 95, you're talking about $300. Yeah. For the plastic ones, a carton of 95 of these, you're talking about $25. You can also buy the inert ones, the ones that have powder in them, but they're just for practice. There's no pepper in them. There's no tear gas like or anything. So let's go on to showing how I like to use this. Looks just like a firearm. You got a safety switch, you got a fire switch. The way to load these, you take the back of this magazine here, insert it in here, right there. It's unloaded, as you can see. You insert it right here and you unscrew it, You put a CO2 cartridge in it, screw it back in, and basically you're ready to go. Now I didn't do that because I have a CO2 cartridge in here like already. What's great about these CO2 launchers, the self-defense system here, is that you can have a CO2 in here indefinitely. The only time it punctures the CO2 is when you pull the trigger. Now I have a CO2 in here. There's two ways to do this. You can put it on fire and pull, and then you can pull the trigger. But what happens is that, you know, it'll launch your ball, but it's not as fast because, you know, you're puncturing and then shooting. So what I like to do, you can put it on safe. So if somebody, let's say you had an attacker coming, somebody with a knife, what have you, was coming to attack you. I'm going to put my magazine in here. I would take out my launcher, tell them to stop. Let's say somebody had a knife, a club or something. I got it on safe. I'm just going to shoot it. Now what happened, notice it didn't shoot. It was in the safe position, but what that did, it punctured the CO2. So now the launcher is ready to be fired. Notice I keep saying launcher, I do not say firearm. This is not a firearm. So we're just going to shoot a couple of rounds through just to see how effective this is. This is my air gun range here. Okay, here we go. Center target, shooting at center mass. Okay, take a quick look here. Now if you look right here, this is where that hard metal ball hit. Now this is sheet metal, but this is not thin sheet metal. This is not flimsy. Now if it's doing that to sheet metal, can you imagine what that would do to an attacker? That would definitely cause someone to have a bad day and to have a change of heart. Okay, let's put another mag in. I'm gonna just take this other mag with me. And you gotta be careful with these mags too. If you tap this part right here, those balls will come flying out. You have to be very careful. So I'm gonna put that there. Okay, I've got a new mag loaded. Guns on safe. We're gonna fire a couple more of these, and I'm gonna pretend there's multiple attackers. Okay. First attacker, like in the middle. Okay, let's say they're still coming. If you have time, let's say they're hurt. Now that's what I was talking about. That's a good example. You cannot touch this part right here. You touch that part, and this is what happens. All of your little projectiles here come falling out. So I'm going to put these back in, but I'm glad that happened like on video. And normally in a self-defensive situation, you're not looking at like reloading. You want to basically use it, and you want to basically get out of there. If let's say it buys you enough time, there's the other one. I knew that it was down here. The magazines, okay, and by the way, they hold 5. Bottom line is you want enough time to get out of there. And if this buys you enough time, let's say somebody getting hit in the chest with 2 of these, buys you enough time to run away, or else makes them run, then to me that's a win-win. Okay, let's do this again. We're gonna go from left to right. I got 3 attackers. Okay, that right there to me is going to be more than enough to persuade someone to back off of you. Now I was using the solid projectiles. Now imagine if you were using the, oh, there's one of them. You really don't want to use those twice, because once they've hit a steel target where they can deform, and you wouldn't want to use that again because that could jam up your gun. But the, excuse me, not gun, your launcher, because this is not a firearm. But again, if I was using, let's say, the excuse me one second, the pepper spray ones here. Not only what they hurt, but now you've got a serious issue with trying to breathe, because when this gets into your system, gets into your lungs, what have you, your nose, your mouth, trust me, you're not going to have too much fight left up in you. And to me, that's a more humane thing than putting a couple of rounds in someone. Although in a self-defense situation, if you're protecting you, your family, if it comes down to that, then amen, unfortunately, you do what you have to do. I'm a very non-violent person, but at the same time, I believe in the Second Amendment. I definitely believe in protecting yourself and protecting your family. I'm the first person, if somebody needed help, I'd try to help them. But at the same time, I've seen some of the worst in people also. And I know you have to be able to also defend yourself. So anyway, this is the Byrna HD launcher. This is a great alternative for those of you that may not want to carry a firearm but are looking for something for self-defense. And don't get me wrong, pepper spray is nice, but if this was pointed at you, put it on safe, drop the mag. I know that like no projectiles like are in there, because otherwise this part right up here would pop up to let you know that there's a projectile like in here, this part right here. So there's nothing in there. But if that was pointed at you, I'm gonna point it away from me, that's intimidating. That's a lot more intimidating than some pepper spray. And again, this not only incapacitates you due to the pepper spray, but it hurts. I mean, you saw the metal. If it's bending metal, you can imagine what that's going to do to flesh. And you definitely wouldn't want to get hit in the face with this. So anyway, this is the Byrna HD launcher. It's not a firearm, but it's a nice self-defense system that some of you might want to consider. Oh, the magazines I said hold 5. From what I heard from the manufacturer, from one of the reps there, you can get about 3 to 5 mags with this, like with one with CO2 reliably. But I probably wouldn't use more than 3 mags on a CO2, because I want to make sure that I have that velocity if I ever had to use it. That said, oh, and once you punctured the CO2 like and used it, you don't want to let this sit for days. You want to release the gas that's left in there. I'm going to do that. I'm going to show you how to do that. You take the back of this this magazine here, insert it in the hole right here, and slowly start to turn it counterclockwise to release the gas. You don't want to release it too fast. You hear that? There you go. That's what you want. And that's it. So I'm going to undo this completely. There's the spent CO2. So anyway, again, this is the Byrna HD launcher. These are becoming very popular. This is something that, like I said, you might want to consider for self-defense. Again, it is not a firearm. It is a CO2 launcher. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and may have found it helpful. For those of you who are watching, subscribe to my channel. I've got more content. Because I'm not only into Super 73, I love my bike, but don't get me wrong, but I'm very much into self-defense, and I plan on putting some videos out on that also. The bottom line, the best self-defense is being aware of your surroundings. Because if you see a threat coming, if you can walk away, walk away. If you can run, this is what my martial arts instructor, he taught me a long time ago. He said, if you can walk away, walk away. If you can run, run. But if you're cornered, I won't tell you like what he told me, but I'm going to say this. You do what you got to do to survive. Anyway, God bless you guys. Stay safe out there. Redzone101. Peace.